Dragon Ball Super community, welcome back. Bringing you guys another deck profile video. This one is going to be going over my top 16 list from this last weekend's regional in Virginia. We ended up taking Yellow Broly. This is a deck that I really liked for a while, but I think my problem with the deck was I didn't want to just consistently have to tap out or rely on Bulma and Wish Granter to allow me to have extra energy. So while we did include those two mechanics into this deck, I did include some other stuff, and I think it ended up working out really well for me. And I could have easily been top 4. With one particular thing that could have happened, I would have ended up being top 4. I would think almost guaranteed top 4, at least not top 4, top 8. So, leader, we're not going to go over too much just because everyone knows what the front side does, or they should, just an easy draw one. This side, though, the auto, and the only thing I'm going to bring up with the auto really here, because I think some people maybe just don't know, is that on either turn you draw one, right? So either turn that you tap an energy, or I should say an energy of yours is tapped. So if your opponent taps your energy as well, you do get to draw a card, and then you go up to 25k if you tap out, and then you can play a Fierce Foe card, which does come up occasionally, but not so much in my variation of the deck. So to sort of start, this is a 54 card list. I would probably cut this down to probably to 52. I think 54 is just a little too much. I have some pretty easy cards that I would cut to. So 2 Turles, and we ran 4 of the Hand Instruction Gohans. This Turles needs to get cut. I hate this card. I don't play a ton of Fierce Foe cards. So I play like a decent amount of the 3-drops, but everything else I don't play. So this was just kind of dead. I actually whiffed off this a few times. If you play the Fierce Foe Secret Rare, I think you have to play this. If you don't play the Fierce Foe Secret Rare, don't play this card. It's just not very good. This guy was just better, just 1-drop, draw 1. I'm probably going to swap this out with a different searcher. There's a 1-drop Gohan that I have right here that I would probably put into the deck because it just searches out Unison. So I can use this to search out Unison of Fury, and you can search out Earthlings and Saiyans. So this is actually going to probably come into the deck. I think I have more targets for that. So I said we're just going to end up cutting this Turles. No 2-drops for Fierce Foes yet in the deck, but we have the 3-cost Fierce Foes. This is pretty self-explanatory, I think, for most of the Broly list you're going to see. 3 Garlic, just because red is still a thing, so we can't run 4. Herdigram is the best one. You have to play 4 of this guy. Helps you with board clearing, helps you with just drawing cards, and also he's the best card to play on your turn 4 or on your turn 3 when you Bulma, so that we can draw 2, and then you can swing twice with 25k double. And then Janempa's there for board clearing as well, for cards in rest mode, or just being able to just snipe cards in barrier during rest mode. And then this guy's going to be a dual attacker, particularly probably at 20k. Unless you're going to tap out to play the rest of it, which is just not very smart to do. We played 1 and 1 of the Broly cards here, the Bio Broly and the Broly. Typically defensive cards on turn 4. If I decide to Bulma and then tap out with the Tapion Unison, did not come up. I'm actually going to cut both of these, I think. This guy will probably end up going into the side deck for the mirror matchups. Other than that, this card I didn't play this card the entire weekend, and I played this card once. So, again, these cards are probably going to get cut or just removed completely from the deck and the side, just because they don't function very well in my deck. We have the restand package that everybody likes or everybody hates. Wish Granter and Bulma. Bulma restands 2, draws you a card. Of course, you can trigger that with your leader effect. You tap out on turn 3, you play this. You draw a card off your leader, you do your thing. You then play a guy off your leader, use Bulma effect, restand 2, draw 1. You also can discard 2 cards from the top of your deck, so you can mill 2. It allows you to get 2/7 a little bit earlier, so that way you can always use the Wish Granter effect as well. So Wish Granter, you play it, you draw 2, and then you either restand 4, play a 3-cost, or give a battle card or your leader 15k triple strike. That almost never comes up. You're always just going to restand 4. The option to do the other 2 are there, but you're just going to restand 4. It just makes more sense just to restand 4. So that's all the normal stuff you're probably going to see in most lists. This is also pretty normal, I think, is Cold Hearted. People are going to start playing Cold Hearted more. Because Balma and Wish Granter give you extra energy back, you can play Cold Hearted on your opponent's turn to draw a card off Leader and Cold Hearted, and now you have a card that can block stuff and also negate cards with skills. This card's also just really good into a lot of matchups because a lot of decks just can't remove Barrier without actually teching for it. And the decks that play Black Smoke have to either think about warping your Unison or warping Cold Hearted, and typically they're going to pick the Unison. My favorite part of the entire deck was the Nova package. I love this package. This actually should have been a 4 of, so this was one of my mistakes here. If you have a Unison in play, you can play this guy for 1 in the battle step or in your activate main step, so you actually can play it on your opponent's turn as well. Meaning we can play this, we can draw a card, we can tap something, and then our leader can draw a card if it's the first energy we tapped. Dual attacker with blocker, and then we also can go into the 8-drop Nova to draw 2 cards. Again, if it's the first energy on your turn, you draw a card off your leader as well. And then you can swing, blow something up. If it's in rest mode, restand it. This put on so much pressure throughout the weekend. I think other than maybe one of my matchups, I didn't play this combination just because I couldn't get to it. But I'll talk about that in a second. But this combination came up in every single matchup. Really strong. The problem is keeping a Unison on board. So that's one thing we're going to have to try to work on a little bit, but I have some ideas. But this was by far the best part of the deck for me to play. Ironically, I know it confused a lot of people, but there were turns where I just wasn't tapping out, and that was on purpose. I wanted to be able to have extra energy up for defense, for things like Cold Hearted, for being able to play Nova on my opponent's turn, and some of the extra defensive cards I'm going to show you guys as well. Typically, like turn two, you'll tap out because there's no really good like 2-cost Fierce Foe. So you just use your Tapion effect to tap out. Turn 3, if you have Balma, you'll Balma. If you don't have Balma, you don't tap out. That's kind of my rule. If I have Balma, I'll tap out. If I don't have Balma, I keep energy out for this and this. Basically, is what it is. Or I tap 2, I go 1 into this, draw a card, 1 into this, draw 2, and then just start swinging, just removing stuff, and then keep 1 up for like a Nimbus or something like that. 3 Vegeta counterplays, pretty self-explanatory there. 4 Krillin super combo you have to play. You can play Lucifer, but Lucifer just doesn't make a whole lot of sense because you need the Z energy, and this just needs to be at 4, so it's live as soon as you awaken. 3 Bojack. I went back and forth with 3 and 4. I think 3 is probably where I'm going to stay because I am going to cut down a few cards, so I'll be able to find this a little bit easier. And we have our extra cards. We have 2 Release, 2 Nimbus, 1 Time Magic. This should have been Forbidden Power or an extra copy of Nimbus, and then the rest is fine. I don't run the token. I actually don't like this card in this build. I don't want to. I would rather floodgate my opponent with like a Nimbus or a Forbidden Power. The sparking is just not what I want to play in this deck. I know people just kind of were expecting it too, so that's why I just wasn't playing it. I wanted to just use this. This card obviously is crazy good, but yeah, this is kind of the main defensive card here is the Nimbus. So like I said, this should have been either a third copy of Nimbus or a copy of Forbidden Power, just depending on which one I had, which I didn't decide to run the Forbidden Power for some reason. And then I have a bunch of 1-ofs to round out the deck here. So we have 1 Super Namekian and 1 Absolute Annihilation. You play this card until it gets banned. This guy was for Nova, which I didn't see all weekend, or for Zamasu Mill. If it's in rest mode, you have Bond 2. Your opponent can't draw off of card skills other than your leader. And then in Nova, most of the Nova battle cards, so like for instance the 8-drop, has to draw to actually play. And because you can't draw, you can't play the card. So things like the 4-drop Nova, Cold Hearted, Allies Absorb, I guess Cold Hearted for the counterplay, you can play it off the ball. But like Allies Absorbed, you can't play the Triple Striker. So a lot of things you just can't play. You can't play Janempa to remove this because the Janempa draws a card first. So there's a lot of cards that just can't be played. Same thing with Zamasu, is all of the fusions draw. So you can also just stop your opponent from playing the game. That was the idea. Any of the matchups I played against, I didn't need it. Absolute Annihilation came up a few times though, but that's just because the card's broken. So we got those 2 guys. We have 1 6-drop Goku. Pretty good barrier removal. It's kind of like late game, like you play all your stuff. Typically like turn 5, turn 6, I'm just gonna go like 1 energy Like I'm gonna go like 1 energy into this, right? I'll go 1 energy into this, 1 energy into some of the other cards I'm gonna show you, maybe 1 into my Z deck, and then the last battle card I'll play this for 1 energy, kill something in rest mode, and then just start swinging, and then I get to crack my own Z energy, just keep swinging as well. So this can also just kind of win you games at the end, just because just gives you more pushing power. We played 1 Overwhelm. Probably could have ran 2, but 1 felt okay. Broly, this is gonna get swapped out for something, probably maybe like another 1-drop double striker. Paying 2 for this card just never felt great, and then because I don't play Metacooler and I don't really focus on playing the rocket ship, this just never really came into play. So I should probably swap this out for something else. I'm gonna try to look at some other cards. And then my secret rare, which was the Super 17. This caught every single person off guard. I love this card. So, 8 cost, it's got deflect and crit. Also, if you have your opponent, your energy has to be all mono yellow, and your opponent needs 3 energy, you can play this card for 1. So it gets reduced by 7. It has deflect, so it can't be hit by anything. And then it states that when this card's basically it's coming down at the counterplay, you can choose a battle card in rest mode, ignoring barrier, place it under this card, and then the card coming into play has its skills negated. So why this is really good is that it's basically a cold bloodlust. So if your opponent plays a battle card without deflect, you can just stop its effects. And this card, just like cold bloodlust, has no energy requirement. So if your opponent plays a 1 cost or a 9 cost or an 8 cost and it doesn't have deflect, you can blank it, right? So secret rares, right? That's a big one there. Then you think of other things like black plays Tenacious. You can stop Tenacious. You play like Topo. You can stop Topo. Your opponent plays just a battle card that they really need to get on the board, and you can just sort of surprise them and just play this, and then absorb something in rest mode, and then you draw a card off your leader. It's something that's going to be very, very surprising for people, and again, it caught a lot of people off guard. You do, because you don't play things like Cooler, things like Gogeta, your endgame becomes more focused on just like spamming out value rather than just playing a big card to kill, which I think is pretty cool that I was able to top with this deck, and I didn't need Gogeta and I didn't need Golden Cooler to actually win games. I was able to just win games just by outvaluing my opponent and just being able to sequence better rather than just focusing on one broken ass card that was able to win me games. So I feel pretty proud of that. For the side, we have 2. Oh, where's the other one at? Had 2 of them here. There they are. Okay. So we had 2 Vegito counterplays. Super strong card. Just getting the 2 Z energy is not super tricky, but you just gotta typically combo off your 1-drops after you play Tapion. Opponent has to tap a card every time they attack with a non-leader, and it also has blocker itself too. So this is also just a good way of just kind of slowing down your opponent's turns. Also, I played this a lot, and I think my opponents all thought I was playing Gogeta, so they didn't want to tap down a lot of their cards. So just kind of them expecting for Gogeta also kind of gave me like a weird soft floodgate because they didn't want to try to swing through this guy. We have 2 Tau. This is the only card I want to take life for in the deck. This card's great. Hitting a 35k body means you can save things like Garlic from dying to either one of the Trunks cards, the one from green or the one from blue. Battle cards that your opponent decides to play on your turn, which I'm going to talk about a matchup that I wasn't really prepared for, that this could have actually won me the game. Yeah, it's a really, really strong battle card. 25k. It taps something, or I guess rest card that coming into play. 35k power. You can play it for free for tapped out. You also have to be a fierce foe. I heard some people saying that this weekend, like they're trying to use these cards on their unawakened turn, and you can't. You have to be awoken to be able to use these cards because Broly is not a fierce foe on the side. 3 Unison of Fury. This card was really good. It's gonna be a little bit better once I play the 1-drop Gohan, because then I can search this guy out. Also won a game by using the -3 with being able to tap out an energy and then play Absolute Annihilation on top of it. It was really strong. 3 Frieza. I think I'm gonna end up main decking this card and just cutting one of them and just main decking the other 2. Just because I just would rather have the extra plays than focusing on the Fierce Foe package. I just really like the Frieza being able to kill stuff, especially Saiyans, and then I can side these out in matchups that don't have a lot of Saiyans, like Gamma. 2 Oceanus, card is broken. Also, like, think about it this way, like, being able to play Oceanus and then draw off of your leader, it's basically, so I'm just going -1 from hand instead of -2. I can play this, draw off my leader, while I pitch a card and then draw off my leader, so that's pretty cool as well. It's the same thing with Nimbus, you also can draw off Nimbus, so this is just a good way of stopping yellow decks from trying to kill you, because no one's playing the Begrudging Ally combination, the counterplay, or, you know, you don't have to worry about it. So other than like red and green, you can play this card and then basically everything else. One Clan of Terror just for the yellow matchups, I guess primarily for Nova as well. Being able to play this and then like snipe Gogeta. If you're playing against a green deck and you think they're playing Xenocell, you can play this and then snipe Xenocell, play it in rest mode, play a Rudigarm, kill it, you know, or just keep it rest mode with like Tapion or something. Last 2 cards were just sort of tech options. We played 1 Jiren and 1 Broken Seal. Broken Seal can probably be a 2 of, and I think I'm going to probably add a second one in here. Jiren was for any blue matchup that decided to go past like 5 or 6 energy, so that's way if they play Turning the Tide, I can at least save myself from dying. And then Broken Seal just is really good into a lot of other matchups. Between like these 2 cards, you can stop your opponent from playing a lot of different things, and just basically attacking for most of the game. So like you can play like Frieza, you can play like the Vegeta, you know, tap it like the opponent can't attack, and then you can play this, and then just call a certain card, and then they can't play it, and then you just kind of, you know, you're kind of golden there. For the Z deck's not super spicy. There's not much here. We have 1 Vegeta, 1 Oolong as our battle cards. I never played the Vegeta. It's probably going to get subbed out for something else. 1 Mighty Blast, and then I have 1 Rocket Ship with 2 targets. If you play Gohan and Cell, Gohan's the same thing as the Gogeta. Gohan doesn't have unique, but unique's not a keyword skill that you can stop, so that doesn't matter. Gohan I just have the pretty version of Gohan, so I wanted to play that instead. Cell has everything, so barrier, dual attack, blocker, deflect, and I only play 1 of these just because I wanted more room in my Z deck. So I think I might put I might take this out and put the Haze 1-drop in, just so I have something that I can, like, for 1 energy I can tap stuff with. So that's probably what I'll end up adding. Last 4 cards are going to be the Z extras, or not the Z extras, the Z unison. So I have 1 Turles, 2 Kaioken, 2 Tapion. I'm probably going to add a 3rd Tapion as well. This is just needed, and there's a lot of matchups where they just want to remove this guy really, really hard, whether they're black smoking it or just swinging into it, or they're using like some green removal. Kaioken can wipe your opponent's board. However, I'm not tapping out ever to play this guy in this version of this deck, and I should have just added a 3rd Tapion. So this is going to become the 3rd Tapion. And then the Turles is nice because Turles is a 1-drop, and the one big thing with this deck is that I want to make sure that I can play Nova like every other turn. So if I have, let me try to grab Nova here, wherever the Nova package is. So Nova needs a yellow unison play. It doesn't specify 2 cost, so you just need a yellow unison. So instead of spending 2 on this and then spending 2 on the 4-drop and the 8-drop chain, I can spend 1 on a Turles and then 2 on the 4 and 8-drop chain. So I'm spending 3 instead of 4. So that just makes more sense for me. And he's a 15k too, so that's also not too bad. Okay, so for matchups, I did play against the winner of the event in round 1, who was on Gamma. If I had an extra 20 seconds, I win the game, basically. Unfortunately, time was called while it was on his turn, and he ate up about 4 minutes of overtime. So whether that was intentional or whatever it is, they really got to change the time rules. I would rather lose because someone actually beat me, not because I didn't get to actually get a chance to win the game because we just decided to take up all of overtime. So that's fine. Round 2, I played against Frieza Swap. We ended up going to time because it's a yellow mirror, so just tons of negates. I ended up winning because of cards on board, so that was fine. I didn't have a good way of killing him through all of the free negates that Frieza plays. but he actually almost decked out. I think he had like 4 cards left in deck, so I think I would have won on the next turn anyways. Round after that, I played against Cell Reboot, which was more of a hand destruction variant. So he was playing like Bionic Blitz and the Toa and the Mira Overwhelms to make me discard cards, which was super annoying. But he did try to Purunga Secret Rare me, and I did blank his Purunga, so then he couldn't use it, and then I just killed it the next turn. So that was pretty cool. Ended up winning that game. The next round was my only other loss of the game, of the tournament, which was against Super 17. That's just from a not having a lot of knowledge on what the deck is supposed to play like. I didn't actually side in these cards. I should have sided this guy in, and I should have sided in the Tau. I didn't realize the 8-drop. I'm pretty positive the 8-drop Super 17 doesn't have Deflect, and it's a 30k or 35k, but this card can rest it, right? It's rest 35ks. Yeah, so I could have used this to rest down the fucking 8-drop, and I just didn't play it. I think he killed me. He tried to King Piccolo Secret Rare me, the one that allows you to combo stuff from your energy. I had Cold Hearted in play. I negated its skills, and then I had between the 8-drop or his leader to negate, and or to block, and I didn't block either one of them. I didn't block the first one, and he just hand dumped a Double Striker on me, which I should have blocked it. I also, the turn beforehand, he topoed me, and I used the Secret Rare to stop the topo because I thought I can push for game, and I just didn't see an 8-drop Nova for me to be able to push, so that was a little bit problematic. So if I would have kept this up, I would have had the 1 energy for Mighty Blast. I would have been able to use this on defense, and then I also would have been able to Cold Hearted, so I would have won that game as well. After that, we played against Panzino. I don't think the Pan is it's an okay deck, but it's so similar to Vegito SS4, where if you just stop it from getting to the combo step and getting those extra draws, the deck just doesn't do much. And then if you can remove the Unison, the first Unison, the game gets really difficult, because now they're wasting 2 more Z energy and 1 energy to play another Demigra, and now they're already behind. So, but just removing the Unisons and just making the game go to like turn 5, you typically can win against most black decks. After that, I played against Tapion, which was the most fun matchup of the entire event. Had a blast playing against Tapion. I ended up secret raring. What did I secret rare? I secret rared his 8-drop Broly, so he couldn't swing it twice. And then on my next turn, I -3'd on Vegito Unison to tap him out, played Absolute Annihilation, and then I just sort of pressured with 8-drop and some other stuff too. So that was a really, really fun game. Last round was against the Broly Mirror. I ended up winning that one as well. That was a fun matchup as well. So over the weekend, I said 5-2, second top in the last 2 events, which is pretty good for me. Second event in a row where I should have gotten top 8, but losing to particulars in time that I would say is partially out of my control is just a little irritating. So I really hope Bandai would maybe add an extra 5 minutes of regulation to make it 40 and like 40 plus 5, or just do something else so that way we're not having these weird rules. Because like in time, like when time gets called, typically people play faster or people play really, really slow. It's never really in between. And I feel like with as many interactions we have in this game, 5 extra minutes of overtime is basically one person's turn, or 2 turns, right? Like typically people will get 1 turn each if people, are going about 2 minutes per turn. But then you get people who slow play, and then it just kind of kills it for you. So going forward for Anniversary Box meta, I won't be playing Broly. I'm going to test out Broly a little bit more once we get closer to Nat season, because we're probably going to have more support, and I do think my variation of Broly, I think, has a little more tech to it than the ones that I've seen, even though there's been decks that have won events, of course, right? They're playing Gogeta, things like that. I just don't want to buy Gogeta, so I've just found a different variation of the way of playing Broly, and I think it fits a little bit more my playstyle, so I do enjoy it. So If you guys want, I will put a DBS deck list down below if you guys want to just check out the list in its entirety, card for card, or just have any questions or anything, let me know down below. Everyone I got to play over the weekend, it's great meeting you guys. It was super fun. I had a blast in Virginia, so hopefully the next event is just as fun. So thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.